Hello and welcome. It is Let's Get Bold with Bold Women's Society. We're waiting just a minute for our guest, Molly Smith. There we go. Molly just joined. Give me 2 seconds. Isn't it fun to be your own? Isn't it fun to be your own IT people? Let's see here. Yep. All right. Just invited Molly. Hey, Molly Smith.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm great. It's just going to be the two of us today. Amanda got called into a meeting that she had to run to, but we are so excited to have you on our Bold Women's Society show. Let's Get Bold.
Yeah.
How's your day today?
It's great. It's a beautiful day outside. Started my day well. So glad to be here.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump right into it. So one of the reasons why we started Let's Get Bold is because we want to bring stories of everyday women like you and me who are doing extraordinary things, be it in their career, be it in their life, and like you're doing both. So our goal today is to inspire other women by your story, and we're excited to have you. So we're gonna do this live, and then we'll also put it on Bold Women's Society. Can you hear me okay? Okay, I can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you.
Better?
Okay, awesome. So let's just, for nitty gritty, tell the audience, what is it that you do for your career?
Yeah, so I work for a company called 100X, and we are a mission-based data and analytics company. We collect consumer insights on over 2,000 brands and businesses across the United States, and we collect those insights and we share them and sell them to businesses wanting to understand consumer sentiment and brand use. And what I do for them is I help collect the data, which is so much fun because I get to do it by partnering with nonprofits and other cause-based organizations and create a fundraiser for their supporters to opt into, where they just share their brand opinions. And I get to give money away to nonprofits, which is amazing, especially, in this pandemic when lots of causes are struggling for funding. The traditional fundraisers are not available to them. This our funding opportunity and this way to collect consumer insights is really innovative and helping a lot of causes. So,
oh my gosh. So the former fundraiser and chief development officer in me, even though I haven't been doing that for years, is so excited about this. And I love this opportunity to not only raise money, but also understand what people think about brands, and for brands to be able to do better, cooler stuff with that.
That's exactly right. So we get to help businesses do better, serve consumers better, and help causes further their mission and their impact in the world. So it really is just a ton of fun to do what we're doing.
I love it. Okay, so here's the reality though, Molly. This is not your first job. This isn't your first rodeo. Right. And you have done so much in your career. So just quickly tell us, what's the path that's gotten you here?
Yeah. So, I've worked for technology companies my entire career for over 20 years. And I'll tell you that I stayed with my last company for over 20 years, and I kind of grew up in that company and held multiple roles all over that company. And it was a little bit of a security blanket, right? It wasn't until about 18 months ago that I took the leap to do something different. Talk about being bold. That was a really scary leap, but felt like it was the right time. Everywhere I've gone, I have just sought to, make make an impact, bring value, bring my skills, hone my skills, find out and narrow, hey, what am I really good at and how can I step and live into that? And it's just been in the realm of technology companies over the last 2 decades. So
I love it. So one of the things that I think a lot of people in our audience, a lot of the women, right, we're all career women.
Yep.
And you've made this big step. You left this company that, as you say, you grew up in.
Yeah.
Were you ever unsure of that? Were you like, talk us through what that looked like to just make that leap?
Yeah. So, it's funny. It's interesting how opportunities present themselves when you're not looking for them. And I wasn't looking for the opportunity to go work for 100X at the time, but a mutual friend connected me to the CEO and founder of this company, somebody, the mutual friend, somebody I respect and has had a massive impact in my life. And so, you always take the conversation, and
Yes.
At the time thinking about, I was so frustrated in my current role. We were growing really fast and my ability to make an impact on behalf of my customer was diminished. And so the door opened for a conversation. And after having that first conversation, I was like, okay, I can't ignore what this guy is doing, because it really is truly fascinating and innovative and so different than anything I've ever seen before. And so it took a lot of soul searching, found some wise counselors to help me through the process, you especially, to help me navigate that. And I don't regret it, right? It was scary. It was scary taking a step into a world that was completely different from what I was used to. But you just take the next best step. You just take the next best step, even in the face of uncertainty.
So I think a lot of our audience gets that idea, right? That you take the next step.
Yeah.
But where does that confidence come from to take the next step? Where did you find that within yourself?
Yeah.
And also, like, where have you built your confidence?
Yeah. So, what's interesting is that confidence for me, I've always been kind of an outgoing person, but that doesn't translate to confidence. And so it took a lot of work to really identify what are the things that I've accomplished and giving myself some credit for it, right?
Yes.
It's building that confidence resume. You've taught me that, and being able to say, okay, I have done X, Y, and Z, and I can own that. I can call that a win, and stand on that. And then once you develop it, it's kind of like a snowball effect, right? It's a snowball effect that you're like, okay, I can do hard things. I've done this. I've done that. Why not me? Why can't I do this? And so, like I said, it's a snowball effect in that you start taking more risks.
Yeah.
Right? You start taking more risks and then they pay off. Right. And then it's like, okay, this flywheel and this snowball that's building this confidence over time. And so now I know that I'm capable. I might be in a headspace that's telling me that I'm not.
Yeah.
But I can work on the mindset.
Yes.
I can work on the mindset.
So 2 things that you've said that just blow me away. One is that people see people as outgoing equaling confidence. And that's a huge myth.
Yeah.
Just because you're outgoing, just because you're gregarious, just because you can walk up and talk to a stranger doesn't necessarily mean that you're confident.
Right.
And then 2, I love what you said. I can always change my mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I know you've done a ton of work in mindset. I know you've done that hard stuff. So tell me a little bit about when you think of mindset, when you think of changing your mindset, what does that mean to you? Yeah. And tell us a little bit about how you personally have dug into that concept for yourself.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting about mindset is when you've achieved when you're in a good mindset space, it doesn't always like last, right? You got to contend every day for it. And sometimes you end up in the ditch, right? Like I'm coming out of a couple of weeks of being in the ditch. And you know what I have found that helps me is when I recognize when I am in a good mindset, my morning routine is solid, right? I'm making that time to set up my day well so that I am not chasing the day. And almost always, I wouldn't say almost always, that sets me up to be in a really good headspace to tackle whatever I have in front of me. Right. So that's how I get back into it. I might not feel it. Like everybody's got that 3-year-old toddler inside their head that's having a tantrum saying, I just don't want to do it. I want to do what I want to do. And it's not this.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So you gotta put the toddler in the corner and get up and do the next best thing that will help get you back in that headspace. For me, it's committing to the morning routine. That's the killer for me.
And what's your morning routine? Tell us for the people who are like, I don't have a morning routine.
I don't have a morning routine. Yeah.
I don't have a morning routine that sets me up for success.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's fluctuated over the years, I think. But for right now, it's spending, you know, a few minutes in meditation, looking at some affirmations, looking at, which I keep all my affirmations on Pinterest, and I just flip. I got Pinterest board, and I got it all sorted. I'm a little type A that way. Looking at my vision board, what am I trying to create in my life? That doesn't take, I mean, that meditation and looking at affirmations and visualizations takes no more than 12 minutes, right? Not a long time. And then sometimes I'll read if I'm in a good development book, or I'll journal. And then for me, it's all about providing value out to the people who are connected to me. And so what can I do? Can I share boldly and authentically and just real about where I'm at? Because if I'm feeling this way, somebody else is too, and everybody needs encouragement. And so that's kind of what it looks like for me. But it has fluctuated over the years, just depending on where I am and what I am looking to achieve for that day, month, year, whatever my goal is.
Sure. So what's funny is, so I have not had a morning routine that sets me up for success in a long time. And Amanda, my Bold Women Society co-founder, has an awesome morning routine.
Yeah.
She, you know, she's just on top of it.
Yeah.
And when we were talking about it, like she does a lot of stuff. Like she works out, she reads 10 pages, she journals, like it's a long time. But what I love that you just said is just meditating and looking at your affirmations takes you 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
12 minutes. And I don't have a calculator in front of me, so I don't know what the 12 minutes, but that's like a minor percentage of your entire day.
Right.
And so for those people who are saying, well, I can't do a morning routine, right? Who aren't like Amanda, who can have, 30, 45 minutes to do that. Can you find 12 minutes?
Yeah.
Can you find 10 minutes? Even if you meditate for 2 minutes and look at your affirmations for 8 minutes, right?
Yep, that's right.
Just to be able to get your mindset.
That's right.
And then the other thing that I love that you said, Molly, and for those of you who aren't following Molly, we're going to tell you in a little bit where to, but Molly keeps it real. Molly is not, I think, in a land full of airbrushed people and airbrushed thoughts. Molly shows up and says, what I'm doing is hard. Yeah. I'm not having a great day. I'm not in the right mindset. I'm working at getting back. Because I think so many people are like, oh, this is so easy and I just do it. And you're the mom of 2, right? Like, okay, so the boys are in what grade? Remind me.
I have a senior and a freshman this year.
Okay, senior and freshman.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff going on with these boys, right? This isn't just some easy peasy year, right? Like you got college applications, band, all of the things.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, I want you to share a time with us that you had to really dig deep to put yourself after.
Yeah.
to put yourself out there and go after something that you wanted, even if other people didn't want it for you.
Yeah. So I think when I made the switch in companies, that was, even though I wasn't like happy and fulfilled in what I was doing, it was a security blanket in that I'd been there for so long. I was known. My abilities were known. People believed in me. I had impact and influence inside the organization, and to leave that and start brand new with people who don't know me from Adam.
Yeah.
Don't know what I've done, what I can bring to the table in a completely different industry. That was hard. It was hard. It was so hard. I'm so glad that I did it, because I can look back now and say, I can see the growth. And I knew that it was going to be a season of testing and a season of growth for me. And there were times where I'm like, I want to get the heck out of Dodge. Like, what did I do? But you know what? You stick with it. And you trust that what drew you to what you decided to do is there's purpose in that. There's a reason for that. There's refining that's happening out of that, and it's making you and shaping you into the best version of you. And so, and it's still not easy, right? It never gets easy, but it's worth it. And so, you can tend to make an impact every day. You don't struggle. I don't like the word struggle. I like the word contend. Struggle,
I love that.
Struggle assumes defeat. Contend means you are in it, and you are fighting for it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. First of all, let me just tell you, this morning on my 3-mile run, I was contending for it.
Preach, sister. Yes.
Because otherwise I would have used that other word that you just said.
Yes.
Like, my app asked me, like, how did it go? And I'm like, it was awful today, but I did it. But you're right. Just that mindset shift of, I'm contending for it.
Yes.
And now I want you to tell the audience something, if you're willing to. So you took this big job.
Yep.
But before that, you had contended for something else that was so important.
Oh, yeah.
And was life-changing. And you and I had a lot of conversations about that piece might have given you the confidence and set you up to do that other thing. So we don't just talk about careers. Tell our audience about what else you contended for and still do to this day.
Oh, amen. Yeah, absolutely. So in early 2019, I started on a health journey. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Have you ever been there? Right? Mm-hmm. I was busting out of my clothes. I didn't feel good. I was working 70 hours a week, and I was in this cycle of self-defeat. And I did not have what I needed to get my health in order. And I found a program that helped me take that step. And I'm telling you, it was life transforming. I thought that I was doing something to lose weight. But what I found is that when you put forth and you focus on your physical health, everything else for you opens up. Everything is rooted in that physical health. And so over the course of 2019, I lost 50 pounds. I got off blood pressure medication. I went from a size 16 to a size 6. I was feeling good. I was sleeping good. And I was showing up better. And as a result, I put some healthy boundaries in place. So I stopped working 70 hours a week, right? My boss and his boss they were not working 70 hours.
No, they weren't.
No, they weren't. And so, I decided to put some healthy boundaries in place with regard to how I spent my time. And what I found is that I was showing up better. My mindset was better. And so you combine some physical wins, right? The losing of weight and the increasing of energy and the better sleep, along with mindset wins of putting structure in place and creating space for relationships.
Yeah.
Relationships with my family, right? That I had been ignoring. It was like 70 hours a week. I came home, drank wine, played Candy Crush, went to bed, and did it all over again the next day. That was my life. And I made tremendous change. And honestly, you're right, Katie. I never thought that I could lose 50 pounds. Somebody challenged me later in that year to run a half marathon. Girl, oh my gosh, I couldn't run from here to there. And I signed up and I did a half marathon because somebody believed in me. And I never thought I could lose 43 pounds. At that time, I lost 43 pounds, had no idea. But you know what? I made the decision because I had seen I can do hard things. I can do things that I've never done before. So why not me? Why not a half marathon, right? So I made a decision and started training just like you did, right?
Yeah.
And so that in of itself builds confidence. You just show up as a different and better version of yourself when you are centered in your health, when you are in a good mindset, when you've got a solid routine that sets you up. Structure, sometimes we fight against structure, but the reality is that structure is actually freeing because there's predictability. There's some predictability in your day or in your week. And so that definitely was a key part of the flywheel that helped me grow my confidence over time. And because of the massive impact that the program had in my life, just in my health and with my family, I became a health coach.
Yeah.
And so I do that on the side. There's so many people out there who have side hustles, but man, there is nothing better than helping somebody walk in their health journey and see those kind of successes. It's addicting. It's wonderful.
And you know what I love about this, Molly, is that you're actually saying do less, right? Like I remember the conversation when I said to you, does your boss, is he the first one in the office and the last one to leave like you were? You're like, no. And I'm like, okay, then we need to stop this. And what's crazy is when you actually set boundaries in your career, you were able to open up all of these other opportunities for your life.
Yes, absolutely.
And so often, and not only that, you're in the C-suite and you have a side hustle.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the women that we talk to, that we teach, that we coach in Bold Women's Society, they want it all, right? And and it's hard, right? We know that we've got to put things in place to have it all.
Yeah.
But specifically, I think that it's fascinating that you are able to have a job you love and find your passion in something else, right? Yep. Because for some of us, our everyday career is not going to be our passion. Some of us, it's going to be something outside of that.
Right.
So let me ask you, what is your next bold goal? Because I know you've got something in the works.
Yeah. So, you know, what's interesting, I next bold goal, I would say, you know, I've helped a lot of people get healthy. I have a lot of coaches that have partnered with me to help people get healthy. And so my next really bold goal is to help grow the coaches on my team.
I love it.
It's a different skill set to help coaches help people. There's a lot of mindset work that goes into that. And so it is just, I mean, it's not something that I've mastered by any stretch of the imagination, but I can further my impact by helping more coaches help more people and so forth. And so diving into that, balancing that with coaching my clients and my career and my family and training for a triathlon later this year. Like that is like I've got all the things. The balance isn't easy. I feel like I fail more than I succeed, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You know.
And when is your triathlon?
November 13th in Florida. Yeah.
November 13th.
Yeah.
So if we could go back to January 2019, sitting in a room working on our goals for the year, if you remember that.
I do.
And you said, could you have even guessed that you would write down, I will train and participate in a triathlon on November 13th, 2021?
Not even remotely. Not even, I would have laughed. I would have like, that's not me. That's not me. That was before I started leaning into my health. I had no concept of all back then. No way.
Yeah. Molly, first of all, I just want to honor you and allow me to pour into you for a minute. You and I have had a very special relationship for several years. We've seen each other through a lot of things. I remember, you know, you came to me, you were a director, you got to that VP, then the C-suite, you've done your health coaching, you've lost all of this weight, you're just beaming and blooming. And it is an honor for me to watch and participate in and be your friend. So one, I just honor the work that you've done. And then two, you are such an inspiration to other women about what is possible. Everything from I'm a vice president and I'm going to set boundaries so I can spend time with my family and on my health, to you can set your mind to anything and you can contend for your health, right? You can do the things that you thought were impossible. And this is exactly what Bold Women Society is about. So let me ask you, where can our audience find you? Where do you hang out the most? Where can they connect with you? And definitely connect with Molly. She's not scary.
Yes.
She's awesome. She will want to connect.
Awesome. Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, Smith Family 1999. I'm also on Facebook, Molly Moore Smith. Please find me. I aim to add value or just keep it real on a regular basis. So my hashtag is Molly Positive Pants. Definitely check me out. I would love to connect with anybody who's following and see how I can provide value for you.
I love it. Well, thanks for getting bold with us this morning, Molly. Thank you for sharing your story. And as always, go have a badass rest of your week.
Hey, thanks, sister. You too. Great being with you.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Bye, Molly.
Bye.